Hi, welcome to the Broken Broom Workshop. My name is Les, and today we're going to be working on a Hayward pull pump that has a leak. Hopefully we can get that fixed and get it back into service. Okay, here's the pump. It's a Hayward Super Flo LX pump. The model number is SP1515Z1BC, and it's a 1.5 horsepower pump. And what I have going on is the pump itself. Here's the pump. Here's the motor shaft that goes into the pump. It's kind of hard to see. Right here. It has a leak. It's leaking out of the where it goes into the pump. So I will be taking this pump apart and replacing that seal. So let's get started. I have a new shaft seal, SPX1500KA. Unfortunately, this box has seen better days, but this is the way I got it when I ordered it from a pull store off of Amazon. We're gonna make do, and let's see if it. I mean, the seal itself looks okay, except for the fact that it's all rusty. Not 100% sure whether this is going to work or not. This does come with a couple of extra items. It has that right there, and then there's a I hope this works. If not, I'm not going to be happy. Comes with another rubber seal and this right here, but this is for a different pump. I don't need it for mine, so I'm going to set it aside. What I need is the spring, the seal. This is a Teflon seal, so it's supposed to be good. This is the ceramic part that goes inside the pump. Let's get started on this. I'm going to take it apart and show you what we've got. Alright, I have a clip right here. It's just it's loose. It's just a clip that kind of holds this into place. You just reach under here. It's just a kind of a half moon clip. Just pick up one side and then pick up the other, and it pops right out. And that's what it looks like right there. And like I said, all you do is you just kind of flex this part. You know, don't pull it too far, you'll snap it. Flex it apart just enough to be able to get to your pump housing. Now this unscrews. So you just kind of unscrew it here. And it has its own seal on it. I think it has Teflon tape on it as well. At least I thought it did, but I know it's got its own seal. Yeah, it has a little bit of Teflon tape on it, but it does have a rubber seal right there that seems to work pretty good. This pump has quite a few bolts here that you got to take off. There's a series of them. These are 8mm. I'm wanting to say these are 7/16. I just use an adjustable wrench. Let's pull the pump housing off of it and let all the water come out. Now there's a rubber seal in here too. Rubber seal right here that seals up against the housing there. Inside of here, that's the impeller. That's what's pushing all your water out to your pool or your hot tub or whatever it is you're using the pump for. They make a special tool to get this off. I'm not a professional pull pump repairman, so I don't have one. I use a giant pair of channel locks right here. On the back side of this pump is this cap, and if you take a little screwdriver and go in at an angle here and on this way, you can pop this cap off, kind of pry it and work your way around. There is a slot inside the shaft that you can put a large screwdriver in to lock that into place. I don't do that. I find it too difficult to get this off. And the pump shaft right there, as you can see it turning right there. I just take me a pair of vice grips, and I don't put a whole lot of pressure on it. I don't want to mar up or mess up that shaft any. Once I get this on here, I just take my channel locks, open them up, and be very careful because this is just plastic. And there it comes. Said it shouldn't take much, and it does look like I need to pull the pump housing off. So we're going to do that as well. To get the pump housing off, this thing has 4 bolts. They're 1/4 inch heads, very thin bolts, and they run the entire length. They go from here to inside of here. So they're very long, and you got to be very careful with them. I don't use an impact on them because they can break. If you do get one that doesn't want to come out, just be careful because you can break it into this housing. I mean, unless you have a way to remove it with like an easy out or something, you're SOL. But yeah, like I said, these things are long and they're not very big. And this slides off. Move my motor out of the way. Now, what we have here is the inside of here is your pump shaft seal. You should just be able to go on this side and push down. If you look, it does have a rubber seal around the outside of this ceramic housing here, and you got to be very careful. Ceramic obviously is very fragile. It will break. Some people will take a pick tool and try to get it out. I'm going to try to get it out a different way. I got a socket that fits down inside. There's a plastic ring right here that's part of this housing, so I had to get something that goes inside of that. So we're just going to tap. And the old one came out. You're supposed to use a lubrication on here. What everybody says to use, or everybody uses that I've seen, it's the lube made for swimming pools and for seals and gaskets and stuff. I have some marine grade grease that I'm going to use. You don't need very much. Like I said, that's all I'm using. And it's just going to go on the outside of this rubber seal, and that's to help it slide down into that housing. You don't need much, just enough. Wipe the inside of this out. Make sure that's clean. And when you go to put this back in, you got to put it back in the same way it came out, which in this case is the wider flat side up, where you can see the rubber seals on that side. So you put it in there, and all you do is just push it into place. I'm going to take the socket and just make sure it's down in there all the way. And that's it for the housing. So let's get the pump back in here, or the motor I should say, and let's get the pump back on it. I'm going to go ahead and get these put on. Yeah, I really didn't need to take these all the way back out, but as you can see, they're not difficult to slide back in. Some people say that it's very difficult to slide these in. I've never had a problem. It does have to go past all the windings and everything inside the motor, but it's got a channel that it runs in. You're not gonna damage anything. Now your shaft, I know you can see this shaft, it doesn't look like it's in the best of shapes, and it's really not, but the shaft doesn't ride on any of this at all. It doesn't touch that ceramic. It doesn't touch anything back here. It doesn't touch anything on here. What happens is this shaft screws into this part, which then this part, I'll show you with the old one, this part actually mates up against your ceramic seal, and then with the spring tension, once this is pushed on there all the way, it's got a spring tension that keeps that sealed. So that's how this works. Now replace this And this should just pull right off. It doesn't thread down or anything. All it is just there's a rubber seal right here, and it just sits over the threads on this. So and this one just tore apart. The other half, as you can see, you have a metal part here is missing off of this. It's stuck onto here. So that's probably why the shaft seal was leaking on me. Let me see if I can figure out how to get that thing off. And that's it. That's the part that came off. Boy, this thing's doesn't look like it's in great shape either. See if I can clean that up a little bit with some Scotch-Brite. Well, it's not too shabby. It's a little bit better. I'm going to take another little small touch of lube and put it on here. Now screw this back on. Again, just be very easy with this. You don't want to mark it up or mar it or crush it. And I just make it snug. I don't over tighten it. I don't crank down on it. Well, it feels like it's got some good tension on it. Make sure my seal is good. I'm going to do the same thing, just a very, very light amount of grease and just put it on the seal. Alright. Also make sure your seal is sitting, or rubber O-ring is sitting down inside of the groove, because if you pinch it and it doesn't sit inside that groove, it's going to leak. Now check the nuts on these, because if you look, one side has some knurl pattern on it and the other side is smooth. You want to make sure the knurl pattern goes towards your plastic, because that kind of grips your plastic as you tighten this down. Try to do this in a crisscross pattern, and these just need to be snug. You don't have to crank down on them super tight. Alright, let's get this put back on. Let's get this tape off of here. Sometimes it works to take a brass brush, try to loosen some of that up, like that. Now, there is a rubber seal on here, right there. If you can see that. So Teflon tape is not required for this, but I like to put it on there as a secondary backup just to keep it from leaking. Okay, when adding Teflon tape, there is a correct way and a incorrect way to wrap your tape. And it depends on what kind of threads you have. Majority of the time when you're doing plumbing or anything like that, you're going to have right-handed threads. When you go to put this end into your pump, you're going to turn the whole unit clockwise or to the right, hence right-handed threads. You're going to take your Teflon tape and basically you're going to run your tape the opposite direction, which would be counterclockwise or to the left. And I'll show you why once I wrap it. But you're going to put your tape on here. Try not to cover up your first thread if you can, and try not to let this overlap, because if you run this all the way around and it overlaps, now you're blocking your port here for the water to come through. So put it here, hold tight, and you want to put a little tension on this because you want this to seat down into those threads. All right, and once you get that, you wrap this I don't know, 3, 4, sometimes 5 times, just depends on what you need. But just keep a good tight wrap on it. So that's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and I'm just going to do 4 and 4. And then you just want to kind of snap or break this off right here. You can cut it if you want, but no need. Just kind of just pull. Now, the reason you want to wrap that direction is because of this end right here, the part that you broke off. You want that to lay flat. So as you're tightening this up, remember it's going to turn to the right. As you're tightening this up, your nut will go to and push, it'll push down on that end piece that was cut. If you wrap it the other direction, what can happen is you can see as the nut would try and unraveling this. See, if this was like this and your nut went this way, it would just unravel, and you don't want that. You want to do it this way, and what that's going to do is cause that end piece to lay flat and push down into the threads, and that's what you want to use to seal. Also, make sure your threads are clean before you put your tape on. I failed to mention that earlier. And make sure that the inside of your pump here, the threads are clean. But then you're just going to put it on, and as you can see, this turns, it's hard to tell from the camera angle, but it turns to the right or clockwise. So you just want to tighten it up. You want to go all the way around till it's snug, and go around one more time. Make sure it's tight. And then take your little snap clip here, little C-clip, and clip it into place. And that's it. Okay, I got that pump installed. It's not leaking. Everything seems to be working great. I appreciate you joining me for this. And if you're not tired of me yet, you can check out some more of my videos right here. If you like what you see, leave a comment, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. We'll see you in the next one.